reach my highest ground.
Okay, that's excellent. Jeff Goldblum. We're hearing from Jeff in just a moment, on his way to becoming a musical icon as well as an acting legend, with the release of his first album, The Capitol Studio Sessions. And he'll be playing for us in the studio with his very own orchestra. Can I just ask you about the acting, though? So it's Jeff Goldblum, whose fabulously extensive film career has taken in great blockbusters such as Jurassic Park, 1, 2, 3, I may have lost count now, cult hits like The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and of course The Fly, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs, and a whole heap of, well, they're always pretty cool movies when you're in them. I don't know why that would be.
But really, it's not so esoteric. Acting is not rocket science, and you're just trying to pretend good.
But
that's it. That really is it. And every good actor, no matter how they've come to it, is doing that.
But in terms of film acting, you were in The Tall Guy.
And it was Emma Thompson's first movie.
Yeah.
Who's one of the great people on earth and one of the great artists.
And you had a fantastic sex scene with her, which is both sexy and funny.
Thank you.
Which is an unusual off of the body. You think, oh, wait a minute, bringing dinosaurs back to life. What's going on here?
Well, I'd read that Michael Crichton book, which was not only popular but very beautiful.
Yeah.
And Steven Spielberg was going to direct it, so these were the elements of something that could be good and popular, and didn't think it would be as good or popular, but there it is.
And what about Michael Winnow? I think you worked with, was your very first movie.
I had a British connection. That was my very first movie in 1973, long before any of you were born. He yelled at me, as he was known to yell at other people. The very first shot I ever had in that movie, he said, "Goldblum, start acting now." Well, it was harsh, but now that I think of it in the years, I think it's a good piece of direction. Just start acting. That's all you really need.
Go. Yeah. Okay. So what are you going to play for us now? What are you going to do?
I didn't know this song, but Dr. Billy Taylor wrote this song, and you know it.
Yeah, I know.
It's called I Wish
I Knew.
I Knew How It Felt to Be Free.
Yeah, and now people will recognize this as home, so we'll say it's a tribute to Barry Norman.
Barry Norman.
Yeah.
You know, it's the song that starts off that show. So sing along if you know it.
Okay, so here we go with Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Schnitzer Orchestra. Well, that's just about it for 2018 from Radio 4 and from Loose Ends. Do come back every Saturday evening in 2019 to join me and my guests for more music, comedy and conversation. But as we head towards midnight, Happy New Year to you all, and here's Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Schnitzer Orchestra.
I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free by Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Schnitzer Orchestra, ending Loose Ends Lounge, which was produced by Suki Firth and Susie Roylance. And that's almost it for 2018. In a moment on Radio 4, the Midnight News, the first of 2019, and then we've another festive story drawn from the four corners of the British Isles. You'll know that the chimes of Big Ben haven't been ringing out across London since 2017, while a major programme of repairs has been carried out. Tonight, they've turned on one of the bells, so you will get to hear the New Year rung in live from the Palace of Westminster in just a moment. However, be warned, you won't hear the quarter chimes beforehand, as those bells aren't back on just yet. Before the bells, news on an all-day New Year drama.
Bad times, Your Excellency. Glorious new days for this Sicily of ours. You're subsidizing the revolution now. The rest will be as it was before. If we want things to stay as they are, things will have to change.
A beguiling tale about family and survival in 19th century Sicily.
It'll take any number of Victor Emmanuels to change this magic potion forever being poured for us.
Alex Jennings reads Giuseppe Tomasi de Lampedusa's masterpiece.
Nunc et in hora mortis nostre.
The Leopard. Tomorrow morning from 9:30 and across the day on BBC Radio 4.
This is BBC Radio. It's midnight. On behalf of everyone here at Broadcasting House in London, may I wish you a very happy New Year.
BBC Radio 4, the news just after midnight on January the 1st, 2019. This is Corrie Caulfield. Two of the Border Force's biggest ships are being brought back from overseas to deal with migrants crossing the English Channel. The Department of Transport says a ferry company with no boats, which was given an emergency government contract, won't receive a penny up front. 3 people have been stabbed by a man at Manchester Victoria Station. The Prime Minister has said that 2019 can be the year that differences are put aside if MPs back her Brexit deal. A NASA space probe is closing in on the most distant object ever explored in the solar system. The Home Secretary Sajid Javid has said that 2 UK Border Force ships will be redeployed from the Mediterranean to the English Channel to deal with migrants crossing from France. Mr Javid has been meeting officials from the National Crime Agency and the Border Force to discuss what he's declared a major incident. He also said the government was looking at ways to make sure migrants who came in small boats would be returned to France. 12 more people who arrived in Kent this morning are being interviewed by immigration staff. Our correspondent Simon Jones reports from Dover.
As Sajid Javid returned to work this morning after cutting short a family holiday, another inflatable boat carrying migrants arrived on a beach in Kent. 9 men, 2 women and a 10-year-old child were found at Greatstone. With the government facing strong criticism from some of its own MPs that it was not on top of the problem, officials from the Border Force and National Crime Agency were summoned to the Home Office. Mr Javid, though, was quick to dampen any expectation that there was an easy solution to stop people risking their lives crossing the busiest shipping lane in the world. But he said Britain would seek to return to France some of those attempting the journey, while patrols in the Channel would be stepped up.
I've made a decision today to redeploy 2 of the Border Force's largest vessels, which are known as cutters, from abroad back to the UK, back to southeast England, and they will be joining a cutter that's already there and 2 other coastal patrol vessels that are there.
Downing Street insisted it was Mr Javid's decision to return early from abroad and that he had the Prime Minister's support. In the past 2 months, at least 239 people have succeeded in reaching Kent in small boats. The Home Office will not say how many have claimed asylum, but in 2017, a total of 26,000 applications for asylum were made in the UK. That compares with almost 200,000 in Germany. And figures from the Greek government show 485 migrants have arrived on the Greek islands in the past week alone.
There have been accusations that the authorities in France aren't doing enough to stop people trying to cross the Channel. But the country's Interior Minister, Christophe Castaner, has insisted that action is being taken against peeping gangs. Our Europe correspondent Damien Grammaticus has been speaking to migrants in Calais who hope to make the journey.